Well, I thought I'd just take these screws out so I can do this little bit of a repair, because obviously you can see the state of it. See the top one, see what it's like. I've let them soak for a couple of days and they've said no, they don't want to come out. So what I'm doing there, well, luckily the first one snapped off. That one won't move, so I just drilled it out. And that one there, I'm going to drill that one out as well. So I think it's the only way to do it. Then once I get the hinge out, I can actually put it in the drill press and drill and tap them out again. So right, I had a bit of trouble getting this out, or the screws out, because it actually rusted solid. So what I had to do, I had to drill the heads off. So all I did really is I started off with a small drill. Then I think it's about an 8mm. What size is that one? 10mm. Then I managed to just get the head off. Now, the problem I had then, I couldn't get the hinge out of here. For some reason it wouldn't come out, so I cut it. Put some cuts down there. I bent it just enough to get it out. I can weld it back in again, it's not a problem. Then obviously I was left with the threads that were still in the hinge. Now I don't know if you can show you what I managed to do in the end. I actually managed to drill and tap them out. Actually worked out quite well, and I thought, well, if I bugger it up, it's not the end of the world, because what I'll do, I'll just drill and tap them out a bit bigger, so I can actually go up to 8mm. So the threads on there are actually really good at the moment, but once they're in there, if I'm not happy with them, then I'll just re-tap them to, or go back to, or go to metric, which is the next size up really, is about an 8mm. Now, what I use, I don't know, or the next couple of minutes might be a bit boring for you, you can always pass forward. This is the Zeus tables. Right, the first thing you want to do is try and work out what size you've got on here. So if you measure that, that is 0.288. That's in obviously imperial. Let's try it again. It's about 0.3 of an inch. So what you do is look up your Zeus tables. I don't know if you better see this or not. The first page, and you run down to see 0.330, 0.31. That's about right. So we know it's 5/16. So it's 5/16, and we also know that it is actually BSF. So if we turn the pages over, we can find the BSF tables. And if we go along to 5/16, it says the outside diameter. That's going to focus. I've got something to point with. There's a pen here. Not the best thing. Right, we go to focus 5/16. 0.3125, and the core is 0.2543. Now the core is actually the tapping size, so it's 0.2543. So you go back to the front again, try and find 0.25. That's close enough. So we know we've got to drill it a quarter of an inch. So if we just drill it a quarter, and then we know we can tap it out. Oh, so I did get quite lucky with these. I actually managed to get them right in the middle, so they'll work fine. So I'm going to change these screwy things. I've ordered some hexagon bolts. I think because I'm going to play around with them quite a bit, I think I'll end up chewing them off. So I can go back in there. So now what I need to do now is repair all this crap here. Well, I've made a bit of progress. It doesn't look a lot, but I've got this piece fitting. It doesn't look like it fits very well, but when I weld it, I'm just going to tack it in and just push that in. That'll be fine. And this bit here just needs a little bit of a twist over. And that bit has to be fine as well. So that'll be all in. And once that's sort of tacked in, there's a bit of a gap there, but I'm not too worried about that. I have actually got 3 little plug welds I can put in as well. And then once I've tacked it, I'm going to cut this lip here off. See what I've done here? I'll cut it off. I'm going to continue cutting it off there. Or will I? I'm not sure. Not sure yet. Once that's all welded in, I've got this piece here. That bit goes on the top, like that. Don't forget that bit there can be pushed in. That's going to be all plug welded. So it'll actually look like, see this piece here? So it look like that. Well, I think the next job is to cut this piece off right away. If I cut it across here, right way down to the, well, as far as I can get it. Trouble is cutting this I've got at the moment a bit worn out. Just order some new ones, and I might as well take that bit of seal off. I don't think it's doing a great deal, is it? Or is it? Probably not. Oops, I think I've got to cut too much out. Cut this piece out. Just to make it a bit easier for me to get in here, really. It's quite rough. Well, it says rusty on the inside, but it's actually quite thick still. I could have actually left that bit. I've got to cut that bottom piece off. I'm not sure what this bit here is doing. Judging by all that, I think I should get this cut down there. I'm struggling at the moment because all my disc cutters are a bit flimsy. I might as well cut that off as well. Not doing anything, is it? No, a bloody great big hole. Well, I've cut that sort of lip off, and I've made a bit of a mistake because there's a very great big gap there now. I know it sort of will close up a little bit like that, but there is a bit of a gap, so I'm going to have to see if I can do something about that. I probably could fit out a weld, but the trouble is if I fit out a weld, it generates so much heat, so I might try and put a little bit of a slither in there. Right, this piece here is actually sort of in place now, apart from that little hole there. There's nothing behind there. But what I'm going to do, I'm only going to tack it on. A simple reason, I'm getting low on gas. I'm on my 3rd bottle. I think you see it. Sort of size. That's the 3rd bottle on the car so far. And that's coming to an end. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tack this. There's a bit of a gap there, but I can feel that. I'm going to tack it there. Then I'm going to push this in. And that'll be that bit done. Plug welds. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm just going to, I think I will do these plug welds here. 1, 2. I might not do that one because there's a bit of a gap there. These two are flush. Put a couple of tacks all the way around here. Not too many. Then I can fill this. Think about filling this gap up somehow. And also I've got that needs pushing down just a smidge before I weld that. Well, the bad news is I just about to do some grinding and my grinder's broke. I don't think it's done so bad, it's actually burnt out. It's all gone black in there. I did change the brushes quite a while ago. I've had it over 5 years. It's had a lot of abuse actually, so it hasn't done too bad. So I think I'll have to go on Amazon so I can get another one. I was going to try and sort of... I'm not really sure if I needed this piece on there or not. I think it'd be strong enough without it. Best bit of it would simulate that edge there. I can't see it's all full of dust. We'll simulate that bit there. The only downside is it's got another piece up there, but I don't know. Anyway, I just need to trim it up a little bit because I want to cut down there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's that piece there is in there, and I reckon when I weld it, I could weld this to that and both of it to the side. That's the cunning plan anyway. And underneath here, I have actually marked it, but I just need to take it back off again and cut it. And once I've cut it and trimmed it up, I'm going to paint some of that I don't know, zinc platey stuff, weld through stuff on it. So I think I've probably gone a bit. I still don't reckon I needed that, but I don't know. It's on there now, so I'm going to weld it in. It's going to be like that. I'll deal with that bit there later, and all this bit here, I'll deal with that when the wing's off, because I can't really do much about it at the moment. Right, let's trim it up and get cracking. Right, I've cut it to fit and I've sort of ground this quite smooth. It's a nice little bit lumpy here and there, but I'll leave it at that. I'll put some of that weld through primer, which is that one there. I'm just going to let it dry. The idea is really to see if I can clamp it down and weld it all up. Make it one piece. Like I just said, I don't think I actually need that bit, but I'm going to put it on anyway. Then I'm going to see if all trimmed up, ready to weld. I'm just going to just check it a little bit at the moment, because obviously my gas is a bit low still. I'd like to get this all on. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a few tacks on it and then concentrate on something else, because I think I'm going to have to play around with that next. So yeah, I've tried to grind them up, I just can't get it out. So I'm not going to mess about with it anymore. I'm just going to get a disc cutter, cut down there, bend it out, bend it back in again. It looks a bit pence anyway, that bit there, look. I've tried to do it nicely and it's still saying no, so disc cut's coming out. Well, I had to butcher it to get it out. I think the problem was where the screw was right way through. That was a long one there, look. I was just hitting everywhere, just wouldn't come out. So I had to muller it to get it out. But I'm pretty confident I can just weld it back in again. I'll put another plate in there or whatever. So it's not the end of the world, is it? It's got the bay thing out. So I suppose really, thinking about it, when you put these bolts in, you don't want them too long because they corrode up the other side. And that one's an oddball one, because look. Oh, I'll tell you what that one is. That's for the courtesy light, isn't it? That's much longer. Anyway, I'm going to measure them all up and I'm going to put I've got some new bolts for it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure them and come to the right size. Well, I've just cut this little piece out. Make it quite easy, isn't it? Give it a little bit of a wiggle. Right, so all I've done is sort of, I say squared it up. I'm going to put a piece of plate over it. But in the meantime, I'm going to give this a bit of a clean up. I need to cut that piece across here actually. Cut a long piece across there, clean it all up, then I can weld all this back up again. It looks quite rusty, but the metal's still quite thick. So I've chewed that up a little bit, but there you go. Well, as you can see, I've welded it all up. I didn't really need to weld that top bit. Anyway, I did. It's all welded up. I'm going to give it a good old grind up, make it nice and clean. I've bent this piece. It's going to go in there. I'm actually going to cut this lip out. So I thought, rather than try and put a seam right the way down there, I might as well just bend it like that. Slide it in there. And weld it in. I've only really got a weld. Is it better to do that? I'm not sure. I have to think about that now. Because of that welding to that. I'm on 2 mines now. Unless I put loads of plug welds all over it to hold it in. Could be welded there and there. And down here somewhere. That could be welded at the top and bottom. No, I won't do it like this. It'll save me putting a run of weld down there. So I need to give this a good old grind up. Fit that in there like that, something like that. Mark the holes out and cut off this edge to marry that. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to let it stick a little bit proud because I can get that when the wing's off. So if that makes sense. Well, plan B. Obviously I've spotted some of these little holes that I've missed here. I've ground it back down again. And I've actually ground off, I don't know if you can see, this little lip there. So when I put the new piece in, which is on the floor at the moment, when I put this in like that, he's fettling a little bit, I can drill some holes in there and put some plug welds in it. And that'd be as it was. I think it's even better. So I just need to make this fit a little bit better. It fits all right, but just needs a little bit of a tweak. Right, I've got it all ready for going in now. I've got to just set it up a little bit more because that's a little bit higher there. I need to tap it down. So I'm just gonna tack it in. What I've done, I've actually drilled some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, another 4 down there, plug welds. That one I've missed, so I can weld this to the inner part, which is fine. And I'm just gonna plug weld these as well, just make it a bit stronger. But I think the whole thing needs going down just a little tiny bit. Now what I'm gonna do, like I say, I'm only gonna put a couple of tacks on it, probably about 4 tacks, and then I'm gonna try and trim this edge up a little bit, and then I'm going to get the hinge, because the hinge has still got the threads still sort of welded in it, so I'm going to have to drill and tap them out, mount the hinge, mount the top door, and obviously these holes, I might have to move them a little bit because the holes on the other side are actually massive, so we'll see anyway. So let's get cracking. Well, I found a bit of a cheat. Well, it's not a cheat, it's an easy way of doing it. I did centre punch that one and that one. That's gone out a little tiny bit. But I use a centre drill. That gives it a good sort of a starting point for me drill that goes through, with tapping drill. That one there was actually had a hole through it because that was the, what's it called, the interior light thing, switchy thing. So I'm just going to get a drill now. It's a 1/4 inch drill through them and tap them out and see what happens. I think I want to get at least 2 or 3. I'm going to get that one, no, that one and that one definitely, but that one's run out a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Well, I've drilled them out of tapping sizes. That one's going to be fine, but that one moved over a little bit, so I'll try tapping it out to see what happens. If it does, I'll just open them up to 8mm. Not a big issue, but I might get it, we'll see. Well, I managed to get the hinge back on. I had to open that hole up a little bit more. I was a bit confused about the thread sizes actually, because I thought it was BSF, but they seem to be UNF. Anyway, I've got these 3 back in there again. I can change them later on for bolts. They tighten right up. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to trim this off a little bit, get the other hinge back on, and just see how out of line it is before I actually weld all this up. Because I've actually welded. That's a bit of a dodgy weld. There's a bit of a gap along there, but I can actually weld it all right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plug welds, and a good one there, half of one there, and a 1/4 of one there. Then once they're on, I need to get that in a little bit more. Then I can trim this down. So it's looking good, but whether the door closes in the right place is another matter. Well, I've got this all in place now. I've got this plate sort of tacked in. I haven't welded it up yet. I'm going to weld it up later on. I just wanted to get it roughly in place. I had a bit of trouble getting that one in. Anyway, so that's sort of roughly in place. And all this bit here, I'm not going to worry too much about it at the moment, because when I take the wing off, I can get to all that and make it all look nice and tidy. I'll show you about that hole there sort of missing. But anyway, that's already done. I've got all the springs and pins and cones all back in, and all these are okay. As for the bottom, I've had to give it a quick grind off. It's only sort of rough at the moment, but just give it a quick grind because the issue, some of these lumps there were stopping the door from closing. So it all closes nicely now. I've got to obviously weld it all up. I haven't got all that bit. Got to weld all the way along here, up here, and all the rest of it. So I'm going to do that next. But I'll do it. What I wanted to do, just to see how easy the door closes and what else I've got to do. This side, well, I shouldn't say it, it does seem better. Right, it closes with a bit of a slam, so I've got to find out why. The top bit there, that's sort of overlapping, but that's level. I haven't got a problem with that, I can just grind that off and re-weld it. So start from the back. That's sort of fairly flush, but this door needs to come sort of that way a little bit, which it does show on there. The door hinge needs to come out towards me, which is sort of this way. So that'll do that. The top of the wing here, that's sort of fairly flushish, but the bottom is coming out this way. So what I'll do, first of all, find out why that needs to be slammed. So, oh, probably because of that, isn't it? Yeah, that's catching. So that's that. So anyway, I was a bit concerned about these screws. I thought they was BSF, but it seems to be UNF. Anyway, that's at least my problems. The next thing I'm going to try and do, I think, this door closes really well, and the line's not too bad. It runs out a little bit sort of there, but then again, I don't know how good it was in the factory. But what I'm going to have to do, unfortunately, these screws, I'm going to have to try and get them out. I might have to adjust them a little bit, because this one has got to come out. I don't think you see it that way. A little bit of welding wire there. So I'm going to give them a bit of a soak, walk away from them for a little while. I know it's not going to work, but I'm going to try, see if I can actually get them out and adjust this door. So I'll start from the back, like everyone says, get the gap sorted out. The only thing I'm not sure of, so the gap's not too bad, I can play around with that. I just need to bring this bottom of this door out, which that's for the hinge, is this front bit here. So I'll show you. Bit of a slam because of that. It's this gap here. How big it is. Yeah? Alright. Yeah, so the gaps across the top are okay. I need to grind that off, which is fine. But it's this piece here. It sort of runs out. There's got a big gap there. It's okay there. I wonder if I could actually, I don't know, I'm thinking about it. I wonder if I could cut that. Put this cutter down it and just bang it down. Don't know. Jury's out on that. Anyway, all in all, it's not too bad. I was quite pleased with it. And also, a little bit of gas left. So there we go, welding up. I think do the welding first, then we'll go from there. Well, these two repairs have been done. This one here, and the one down the bottom. I'll give it a quick grind. I'm not, again, I know I sort of repeat myself about 1,000 times, but I'm not going to go overboard with any feel or anything like that. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I might put a bit of paint on it, but then again, I might not. This is probably going to be the end of this video, because I need to start a new one with taking the wing off, and that's a bit of a pain in the arse job. But I'm quite pleased with it come out so far. You know, considering there's a massive great big hole in there, and now it's nice new metal. I need to grind up these little bits around here just a little bit more, which I probably will do. That up there's all flush, but I think just a very thin skim of filler over that will take care of all that. That bit there needs straightening up a little bit. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it hasn't been too boring, because unfortunately a lot of my videos consist of me cutting pieces of rusty metal out and welding some new in. So if you have enjoyed it, please leave a comment, that'd be fantastic. Subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you again shortly. Thanks for watching. Bye now. Well, I just brought a brand new this cutter or grinder, whatever it is. I took this old, in the meantime, I took the old one apart, cleaned it and whatever, and guess what? Yeah, it still works. What I've done, I actually rewired it in the bottom there. Just took it all apart, give it a good clean, put some brake cleaner all over it, and put it back together again, and it works. Right result. So I've got a spare grinder now.